Well, as sporting confessions go, Lance Armstrong's been one of the longest in coming and it's provoked outrage around the world. But how do people feel in Armstrong's hometown of Austin, Texas? Our foreign affairs correspondent Jonathan Miller is there and has been finding out if the cyclist star is finally waning.
In the capital of the Lone Star State, whose cycling stars just crashed to earth, this whole thing just sucks. Lance Armstrong's bright and shining lie leaves Austin tarnished. His erstwhile fans here wounded by his disgrace. Deceived, betrayed. The Lance Armstrong bikeway cuts cross town. We stopped some 8 a.m. commuters. For all his sins, he's still their hometown boy. So, no redemption?
No, but I mean, I'm glad he did it. So, I mean, not the drugs, but I'm glad he, took the step to try to make it right.
I teach kids, and my students have a lot of respect for him, and they're just vulnerable, small people, and I feel like he's not setting a good example for the people that they mean the most to, and that lets me down in general.
There's a sculpture on the bikeway inspired by the trend-setting wristbands of Lance Armstrong's Austin-based cancer charity Livestrong. Austin's cyclists, betrayed by their one-time champion, might now reasonably wonder whether they shouldn't just strip Lance Armstrong's name from the Lance Armstrong bikeway. It's one of the perils, I suppose, of naming something after a human being. But loathe him or still like him, Lance Armstrong is today Austin's toxic brand. In Armstrong's Mellow Johnny's bike shop, a play on maillot jaune or yellow jersey, the Lance legend still lives on. 7 signed yellow jerseys hang above Armstrong shirts and shoes and caps and bags and bikes. But will it ever sell? They wouldn't let us in.
I think he has, I think he has a very viable chance to redeem himself, and I don't think he's taking it seriously.
Oprah may have been mesmerized and riveted by Lance, and millions may have watched, but in Austin bars, many for once found his performance lacking.
And I said, listen, I called you crazy, I called you a bitch, I called you all these things, but I never called you fat.
And for former friends like Betsy Andrew, whom Armstrong accused of lying when she and her cyclist husband claimed he'd confessed to doping in 1996, this was all too much.
You owed it to me, Lance, and you dropped the ball. After what you've done to me, what you've done to my family, and you couldn't own up to it. And now we're supposed to believe you? You have one chance at the truth. This is it. This is a guy who used to be my friend who decimated me. He could have come clean. He owed it to me. He owes it to the sport that he destroyed.
It's Lance Armstrong who's now likely to be destroyed. He was filmed the other day jogging into his vast mansion. He's about to run headlong into a legal inferno, which could bankrupt him. In Austin, they're braced now for Oprah Lance Part 2, 7 hours from now. Armstrong, live strong, lie strong, is what they're saying. Jonathan Miller, Channel 4 News, Austin.